to the Enthusiasts Club podcast. I'm RJ White. Each show is a talk with a member of the club about something that interests them, something that's grabbed them to the point of digging deep into something they'd never known. And it can be anything, food, a film, or even a form of content and communication. That's why this episode, we'll hear from Tony Zaret of our North Brooklyn chapter. He's a writer and comedian who, when searching for a new outlet for his comedy, discovered the strange and beguiling world of memes. I mean, yeah, you've been doing writing and stand-up for quite some time. Why the kind of content shift into memes? What was it about that made you want to kind of devote most of your material to that?
Well, I honestly do just as much stand-up as I ever did, but you just don't see it online. So if you are in New York and going to a lot of poorly attended stand-up shows at bars, then if that's what you're doing, then you would think of me as a guy that does a lot of stand-up. But if you're just experiencing me through the internet, then yeah, it would seem like I'm only doing memes all the time. But for those if anyone's listening, I have a weekly stand-up show that I still do, and the memes it was more like a thing of, I think I got into it from Vine. Do you remember Vine?
Oh yeah, no, that I did a couple of things on Vine, but I would see other people doing much better stuff, so it just completely discouraged me. For like, oh man, I always felt as though I should be trying to think of stuff, I should be trying to write stuff, I should be trying doing things for this. But then you'd see people do these things that were so perfectly suited to that really, really short, small format. You're like, they're already doing it. I'm not going to crack that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think my thing is I've been realizing now is that sometimes with this stuff is that you have to with stand-up or with any kind of stuff, I think I've realized sometimes you just have to keep doing stuff and see until something sticks. I did try to do Vine for a little while, and I remember I posted stuff for a while, and it was all kind of lame, and I couldn't. And then I'd hit like one thing, and then it was like, oh, that did well, and it was kind of, and then I kept sort of. I used that as a jumping off point. At the same time, I don't remember exactly, but I think while trying to sort of get ideas for Vine, I started like looking through Tumblr, which I had. I'm sure you remember the days of like LiveJournal, and that was like the blog, and then I kind of lost interest in it, blogging, and Twitter never really. And then like a bunch of people I knew got into Tumblr, and I was like, I'll get on this, but I couldn't figure out what was the point of that either. But then I started looking through it just to get ideas, because then my concept for the Vines kind of became like acting out corny memes, I guess. So then I started looking at a lot of memes to get ideas for the Vines, and then when Vine kind of petered out, and then I still wanted to get attention from strangers on the internet. So then I just started making the still image memes.
So at what point, when you were looking through these and seeing ones people were actually making for real, did you realize, oh, this is kind of an interesting, odd form of communication?
It is interesting. Yeah, because something when I hadn't spent that much time, I think, looking through this internet stuff. I think maybe I missed out on a lot of the early years of like shareable internet stuff. I just wasn't paying attention to it. So by the time I kind of discovered this stuff, I think it was very alien to me. So I think that's what I found so funny about it. Like I was just looking at all these memes. I just think it's so strange how people are sharing these like trait sentiments. Like why, and I think that was like, I thought this was so funny. Like people just telling people that they're like feeling hungry or tired, and they made a picture to like, there's something funny about that, and that's what most memes were and are. So I just started like looking at more and more of them, and then it's like started taking up more and more of my day looking at memes.
I mean that's interesting too, because like all you do is like take a weird photo, a weird image, and then put like something in impact font on it,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you've made a statement about this thing other people can somehow relate to.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, it's weird because when I first discovered memes, that really was all it was. There was like, and maybe I'm ignorant here, but it was really just like a handful of pictures that people would put impact font captions over to relate to just the same kind of. I don't know. It was just like the humor for me is like the repetitiveness of the ideas. It's like the same thing over and over. Like I'm feeling awkward. I'd rather sleep than exercise. And people just repeating this stuff over and over. To me, it's so odd. It's so weird that people would. This is how people, people feel the need to like make these things. So I just found it really interesting.
Well, I'm wondering about the fact that also it's very accessible too, where you can just take the image and the fact that it is fonts that are just available on any pretty much PC or Mac. You type it over it in whatever program comes with. You don't need Photoshop.
No, I mean, most people, they just go to like websites that are just like make a meme. They just, yeah.
So you're actually creating this thing and then just broadcasting it out. And sometimes it hits and sometimes it doesn't. But I think most of the time for people, if it doesn't, that's fine because it seems like they get so specific quite often.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's also a very funny thing about them, I think, is people, that's sort of a subset of memes. They make stuff that maybe it wasn't even meant to be seen but anyone but like their coworkers or something, but it's been made publicly, so it just gets out. So you see a meme, so it looks like something that would normally say like, my feeling when I have to get up at 6 a.m., but it's a picture that says like my feeling when Bob from HR sends another one of his, email blasts. And then you just laugh because it's so specific and someone had thought to make this and you weren't supposed to see it really. So I don't know. It's really funny to see people's attempts at creativity.
Did it at some point switch for you from being kind of, hey, I'm doing this research to try to find some bits, to actually being really interested in just exploring this more and seeing how people used it and seeing the different types that were out there?
Yeah, I think what happened was I started, like after the Vine stuff died down, I started just putting more of my energy into making my own still memes. And that's when I felt like maybe I burned through a lot of the relatable ideas that I had kind of done in Vine, like the stuff about, being awkward and stuff like that. And then so that's when I started going on Reddit. And there's all these subreddits that are really just dedicated to finding bad memes. In fact, I don't know, maybe I'm getting a skewed perspective on Reddit, but it seems like there's as many Reddits where the memes they find other people's bad memes as there are people trying to make good ones. I don't know.
And there are a lot of them are like posting the exact same ones to both forums, pretty much.
Yes, exactly. Like basically there's r/funny and there's r/comedy cemetery. r/comedy cemetery is for stuff, obviously, that's like deadly unfunny. And half the stuff on comedy cemetery is just people take stuff from r/funny and post it on there and go, can you believe people think this is funny? So I just started looking through. I think that was like the next thing was like looking through all these like bad memes, and then then I got really into that because then you realize how many different, and the memes I think at this point, this is like a few years ago, memes started, more and more people started making them and the forms got more varied. It kind of the impact font over the 20 basic pictures of Scumbag Steve and stuff like that. I think people started not wanting to do those anymore. That maybe they're even among people that were making really dumb memes, maybe started feeling like those had gotten stale or dated for some reason. So you kind of suddenly there's a bunch of different kinds of memes. And so then I started looking through different kinds of memes, and that was how I was getting my ideas for I got parodies like, like so many memes, I realize are like, just like, kind of like, I don't know if maybe older people started getting into memes, but I mean, I really feel like you got a lot of like right-wing politics or just general conservative sentiment in memes. I think maybe just because it's a very simplified form of communication. So if that's your, well, I mean, politics, maybe you'll draw into it. So then I thought that I started doing a lot of memes like that, or just other niche stuff about aggrieved video gamers. Anyway, so I just started diving into this. Just now, as more and more people started making memes, I found more and more funny subgenres of memes.
See, that's so strange to me that it's become this sort of, because when you think about it, you hear about it, oh, it's a meme. You think about this like very general, broad way of communicating on the internet. But then, if you start to look into it, there probably are these just various levels and rules and things you do and don't do, and there are probably people who take it super seriously, where it has become this kind of really specific way of communicating amongst people on the internet, where you can look at it and you know exactly what the person is trying to get across.
Right. I guess it's the use of pictures that you've seen before. It's a way of just, I guess, getting people's attention. It's also kind of a way of admitting you don't have any ideas. So it's generally, a movie is very hard and expensive to make. So even the worst movie, someone has had to put a lot of time and effort into it. But a meme there's no barrier of entry. So you get to see people that would normally never even try to do anything funny, trying to do something funny. So it's given access to everybody to kind of make cartoons, and they're so bad usually, and it's funny for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was wondering about that too, because like the fact that people can just keep adding and adding and adding, like the thing with the that photo it's a stock photo of the guy. He's with a girlfriend or whatever, looking back towards another woman. And that thing just went around and around and around, people putting their own captions on it, their own things over. And you think, oh, it's over, it's done. And then a few months later, someone has another one like, oh, that works. It comes back again.
Yeah.
Because so, I mean, what do you think about that? The fact that it is something people can just keep adding their own jokes or experiences to.
It's almost kind of reminds me of like everybody, I'm from doing stand-up. I know it's a huge thrill to come up with a joke and then that other people you don't know respond to it. It's this feeling of connection with people. So it's a great feeling. But I think memes are kind of just like they are to that what like playing a Guitar Hero game is to like playing a real concert. Like it gives people the kind of feeling of making a joke, but without any of the kind of risk or the kind of effort that you would have to put into like actually go stand up in front of people and make a joke, or even just write an original tweet that you think is funny. It gives people the kind of the fun of writing a joke without like the risk or a lot of the work. I guess I think that's also part of why these things keep coming back, because half the work of the joke is done for you already by the picture.
All of the like iterations of it that have come before, that does a lot of the heavy lifting for anybody seeing whatever you add to it.
Yeah.
So in your mind, you've already got, I've read this text on this picture done over and over and over again a bunch of times. You already have that association in your head with it. So when somebody else comes up with a new one, like, oh, okay, you've already got that kind of feeling of familiarity with it, and the familiarity with the jokes you actually liked before.
So it's like already kind of funny to you. It's kind of like, it's like people that quote, comedy movies. It's similar to that. Like, but the context is a little different because you're doing it about your office, and you go, that escalated. So many memes are just a funny line from a movie, but that's on the bottom. Like, we all remember Anchorman. Well, that escalated quickly. And then people will just put a white bar at the top relating to some sort of usually like blandly relatable escalation. Do you know what I mean? When you
Well, that's weird to me because then that puts another strange level of context to it where, okay, you've got the thing where it's some sort of photo, but then you have a movie quote that's not the photo, but people recognize the movie quote. But then if it's something for just, in some specific office situation, so you've got these weird 3 levels there of just...
Yes, we have like a photo of Will Ferrell going, well, that escalated quickly at the bottom, and the top will be a white bar going something, like, Tinder date, asks if she could give you a hand job or something like that. I don't know. It's like people using these memes are it's like a way to sort of get a laugh, not from scratch. So I always think it's like people have taken that. It's like they've used the internet to make a virtual version of the guy of quoting your work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I was like, it's like nothing new. So I think a lot of, and even with the picture of the guy looking at the girl, you've already seen it 100 times. So then when you put me as the guy, the girl, it says my old truck, and then the new girl saying, a new truck that costs $20,000 more, you're already sort of, the legwork has been done by people's familiarity with the picture. And then you can kind of, if you are thinking about getting a new truck, you can kind of have a little chuckle.
Okay, so as someone who does this, actually does the writing, does comedy quite often, what do you find so interesting about memes in general?
I guess I like to mess with the format of it. I think it's a funny thing because I try not to do a real meme. I try to make stuff that looks like a meme, but then you see it and then it's not done right, or I've used the pictures wrong or something. And so I just think it's interesting because it's a kind of form of entertainment that is like, it's like I always like bad movies and stuff like that, but you can't really make your own bad movie. It's too expensive, but you could make your own bad meme. It doesn't cost anything. So I like that it's a form of something you can parody with sort of like and maybe I'm being lazy too, I guess, and saying like I can, you know what I mean? Like saying people are being lazy, just slapping pictures, but I'm still being lazy in a sense, by just doing something I can do in Photoshop instead of, I don't know, making it into a play or something. I don't know. But I guess I like it. It's like a form of cheesy entertainment that is like very easy to, there's no expense to parody it, I guess. Even making a parody song, which some would say the sort of highest form of humor is pretty expensive. Yeah, I was kidding, but yeah, I guess so it's interesting. It's like a form of entertainment that's like anybody can make. And so you just get so many bad versions of it.
Well, and yeah, yours do kind of take it to an odd extent where it just becomes this kind of weird, bizarre nonsense thing. But how often have you had people actually taking yours seriously or asking, wait, did you really mean this? Like stuff like that. I mean,
it's interesting. I don't know, because some people, I don't know. I've never really had anyone, very, very rarely, seem to like it, and they're missing the point. Either they're missing, or maybe I don't think those people leave comments. So you can only really go by people's comments on this, social media stuff. And the people either get it and they kind of get in on it, or they're mad. They don't get it and they're mad at it. But I don't know. I don't really see any comments of people that don't get it and they like it.
So yeah, what about that when they just get angry at it?
I don't know. I mean, I try to think about that. I always think about they must be having a bad day. I don't know. It's like, I actually find it fascinating. Like, I would never leave a comment on a stranger's social media post. Would you do that?
No, not often. They'd have to be saying something awful, something terrible. Yeah.
If it was like egregiously, yes. I mean, if it was like, right, but if it was just an apolitical thing, or even like just some kind of social, even some of the stuff is like mildly, but I would never in a million years leave a comment. So
right, I was thinking, I don't like that, and move on. Scroll on to the next thing. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't. So there are people that leave comments saying they don't like it. But I can't really. They must be having. I don't know. I can't get in the mindset. I really can't. I've only thought as that maybe they're having a bad day, and this is a way to like. They didn't want to take the time to like. They just wanted to insult somebody. They didn't want to take 2 minutes to like look at who made it or anything. I do think a lot of it is very young people that maybe haven't really thought through. Because I didn't have this stuff when I was 13. So, but maybe if I was, I don't know. Maybe if I was 13, maybe I would have been going on stuff saying that sucks. So I don't.
Yeah. We didn't have the cutting edge meme technology back in the 90s that they have now.
Yeah. Right. But I mean, I didn't have like Instagram where there's like a bunch of people making jokes. And maybe if I was 13 and I saw something I thought was stupid, I probably would. And I'm not, I don't know. So I assume the people are either, sometimes I think it's adults that are just mad. But on Instagram, I think it's just teenagers come across them and maybe they're just dumb and mad. I don't know, but it is, I don't ever get, the one thing I don't get are people that, or very almost never people that get it, that like it for the wrong reasons. They like it because they think it's the thing it's making fun of. I know they don't leave, or if they exist, they don't leave comments. So there's no way for me to know. So it's interesting, but it is interesting. Like a lot of people don't get it, but they're just, they're mad and they do leave comments and they say, this is stupid. This isn't, this is, well, I have on Instagram, I have all the swears filtered out, but I can imagine the stuff that's not I'm not seeing. But anyway.
So what about when you've got awkward attempts? To me, it seems okay when it's like somebody, like you said, like older people trying to do it and trying to pitch in. But what about when it's like brands trying to be hip and latch on?
Oh yeah.
What about that sort of thing? Like what of that have you seen that's kind of like it works or it doesn't work and it's just kind of sad to see?
You know what? It's kind of funny because I think you were mentioning this earlier, like how like memes have almost become a thing where there are people that are sort of snobs about it now. Which this is what I've really seen is the new, and like maybe only in the last few years, is that there's this like attitude of like, I like good memes. These memes are bad. The ones I like are good. And so those people get really mad when brands use memes, because I think in their mind, memes are supposed to be cutting edge or I don't know, but it is usually. Yeah.
Well, it seems weird to me because it's any sort of type of communication at all. A business is going to try to use it to get across to people, no matter what. If it's memes, if it's newsprint, if it's anything, they're going to do that. So of course that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is usually kind of cheesy and embarrassing, but I don't think it's necessarily more so than anyone's memes. Right. I mean, I guess it's like I'm saying, like, people will see, whatever, Pizza Hut doing a meme, and you're going, like, oh, this is so lame, and it is lame, but it's even the memes that are good are lame. So I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't think it works in the sense of I don't think it appeals to the teenagers that are into memes, but I don't know if those teenagers, it's kind of like any sort of sponsorship. It's just like whatever Pepsi sponsoring, Madonna, that wasn't ever going to appeal to the teenagers that were into punk rock at the time. You know what I mean? So it is funny to see brands using memes. And I actually am on a Reddit where people make fun of it called r/fellow kids.
That's a good name. I like that. Yeah.
This is a name. It's based on the joke from 30 Rock.
Oh, with the Steve Buscemi, with the rock band t-shirt. Yeah.
Right, like all memes, it's basically an unoriginal joke. But people there post all the stuff that like brands do to try to use memes. And yeah, it is. I will say a few brands I do enjoy because they make fun of the act. It is interesting, like Steakums, which I guess it's like a beef jerky type of thing.
Yeah, I have a friend in college. He had his freezer full of Steakums.
So is it a jerky or it's just like meat?
I think it's just a very thin meat. Like you'd use it to make a cheesesteak if you couldn't get to Pennsylvania, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they basically have a Twitter just making fun of the act of a brand making memes. So I think that's cool. Honestly, though, the Steakums Twitter, I think, is a lot more entertaining than, these accounts that are supposed to be good meme accounts, like, fuck Jerry and fat Jewish. I mean, they're just sharing boring, that are supposed to be, that teenagers are into. The Steakums account, I'm sure they're owned by Procter & Gamble. The Steakums account is better than most, like, what would be considered like popular meme pages. So, I don't know. I think most brands, it is just embarrassing, but most ads are embarrassing. So I don't know if it's any better or worse. But the only ones I've seen that I thought were good were kind of acknowledging the awkwardness of it. So maybe everyone can catch on to.
Well, actually, no, that's an interesting way to put it. Like the awkward, because I mean, part of the basis of it is that it has to be kind of awkward and very low tech looking in a way, and just kind of this very strange, like almost public access television sort of aspect to the internet a little bit.
I think that is a really good point. Like, memes have to look, I think one of the appeal of memes versus most stuff like advertisements or clickbait articles is that they have a look like they were made by someone so there's a certain, like, I guess it goes back to like people that don't want overproduced music, or it's like you see a meme that looks a little bit dirty or something, it just seems more like a real thing. Like, I think for some reason people want to see a little bit of like JPEG artifact on their meme. Enough, it's like lo-fi or something. There's like, so I think maybe with brands sometimes the problem is they have these ad agencies that have to make everything look professional. So they put out these memes and then it just looks like an ad because it looks too good. Whereas a meme should kind of look like somebody cobbled it together, and then like printed it out and scanned it and then posted it or something. Well, yeah, but I do think it is. Yeah, I think that is one of the. If advertising people are listening.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah. This thing's big with all the ad agencies. This podcast already.
Yeah. Like the Steakums thing is done, like it seems like it's done kind of unhinged and crappily, and then it makes it kind of funny. I don't know. Maybe other companies will hop on that, but I guess it just shows the sort of inauthenticity of memes anyway. It's like no one knows where they come from, and if it's good, it's bad, and I think that's why I like it. It's like a form of, it's just like there's no quality control, and so it's just kind of raw crap, and most of it is bad.
When did you, or have you looked at or thought of, since you started looking into these things a bit deeper, things in the early internet usage that you kind of realize now, like, oh, I guess that was kind of a meme back then, that sort of thing?
The thing is, I just didn't. I basically missed the whole internet up until about 2000. I want to say 2010. For whatever reason, I don't know. I was just not. I think I didn't really. I don't know what I was doing. Whatever else I was doing, but I was not at all into any of that stuff. So I think maybe that makes memes funnier to me because it seemed like they came out of nowhere. Like when I first saw one in like 2013, I'm like, it was like I can't believe people are making their own pictures and putting them online. It's so weird. Why would you do that? Internet's supposed to come from websites made by companies. So I missed out all of that. I mean, obviously, yeah, the all your base thing. I guess that was a meme, and I guess there were like viral videos. But even I guess I was a little bit aware of what even viral videos. I didn't really get to. I guess there was like there were some early viral videos, but I guess those were kind of like memes. But it seems like it didn't really take off. I missed out on the early era of it, and maybe I think I enjoy it more now anyway, now that more people are doing it, because it seems like back then the people doing it were all just the kind of like snarky gamer types. It's kind of the same thing over and over. So what's funny now is you do get to see older people or just people from all walks of life, people from all over the world, kind of. So you get an expression of a greater variety of sentiments. I think so. I think back then, maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed it anyway. I don't know.
So if you were to go back to 2000 era live journal Tony Zaret and try to explain any of this to him, how would you do that?
Well, I've looked back at that stuff and I'm like, what? I think I would be like mad. I don't know, because back then, even then I was like, oh, this is stupid. I think I would tell myself then to like stop wasting your time on doing live journal and make stuff. You can use the internet to like make stuff for the public. I would say that the internet is going to become a big part of the entertainment business. It's not something like stupid. It is stupid, but it's become part of the entertainment business. So you might as well like use it. And even because I would probably back then, if I told me now, then you're posting memes online every day, I'd be like, what the heck's wrong with you? Get a life. And so I think I would have not realized that this was going to be like, this is what the entertainment, this was going to be as popular as TV shows and anything else now. So I don't think I think I was, maybe, I don't know. So I think I would be shocked and then I would shake myself. I'd say, no, you understand. This is what people do for now. I look at memes. I probably spend more of my day looking at, when it comes to just like looking at humorous content, I definitely spend more time looking at memes than I do watching any kind of sitcom or anything like that. So I think for especially a lot of younger people, it's the same way. Like, so it's, I think I would be shocked, but then I would explain to myself that this is just what happened. And then I go, well, cool.
End of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, I think weirdly, I think I was more of a baby boomer back then than I am now. I think back then I was like, oh, entertainment on the internet sounds weird. I want to turn on TV and be entertained. But now I would say people don't care about TV stuff. So now it does. I think most people don't think I'm watching a TV show. I'm looking at an internet thing. So, yeah, I think I would be surprised.
So, final question. Having seen so much of this, having made kind of parodies of it and whatnot over the last few years, what are the elements that need to be in there to be a good meme? Well,
in the end, a meme is really just a one-liner joke with a picture. So I think that's really all it is, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's mostly people just piggybacking on an existing picture. So I just think that still has to be a funny joke. Yeah, and it really is nothing new. It's just a way of, I think it's just like a newspaper comic or something. It's just a illustrated joke that you kind of get quickly. And so if a good meme will have the same type of, misdirect or surprise that you would get in any joke that you would read, except, the elements of it are not just words. It might be, a weird picture or a callback to a picture you've seen before. But I think a funny meme still has to have the same kind of logic as any joke. It's just being built with elements of pictures you've taken off the internet.
So basically, people just need to make a Marmaduke panel.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think that's why I always thought Marmaduke was so funny. It's like memes because it's the same thing over and over. It's really trite. So I always found it. Yeah, but it is. A meme is just a Marmaduke panel, thanks to the democratization of the internet. That can be as racist as you want it to be.
So it's something you would be able to post up in the bulletin board or on the fridge of an office break room.
Yes, now people do print out memes. And they put, it's the same stuff. But I think memes, yeah, they're basically newspaper comic level of humor. So a good meme has to have that. But of course, a lot of them are just terrible, and because people are terrible, so a lot of them.
Well, so are a lot of newspaper comics.
Well, that's
too.
A good point. But there's newspaper comics. There's they have to sell advertising and stuff. But with memes, there's no sort of repercussions for posting the sort of worst thoughts you could ever have. So It could be a funny joke about needing coffee, or it could just be something terrible. And if it's funny, then if a meme is funny, it might still be funny described to you or something, I guess.
I want to thank Tony for the conversation, and if you want to see his memes, though I warn you, I've heard some could be considered quite dank, you can follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Tony Zaret, or throw a few bucks toward his Patreon, where at the $15 tier, Tony will tell you whether or not he's being ironic. Well, did you like what you heard here? Would you like to hear other episodes? It's simple. You can subscribe to the Enthusiasts Club on your favorite podcast app, or visit enthusiastsclub.net. If you'd like to, you also can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Enthusiasts Club. Thank you for listening.